the way they look after their interests. So, a lot of money. Workforce size. So, as you saw on the YouTube clip, biggest sector of the workforce, 1.3 odd million workers, 11.3% of the workforce, and it's growing. So you can see the figures that are growing. So WA, I think you want to see you are 15% increase in workers in your sector, according to national figures. So a lot of growth, and a lot of growth is coming, and we saw some of those figures in there earlier. Over the next 5 years, and the poor miners, look, the mining industry is really tough, really doing it hard. They're getting all this help because they got the money, of course, everyone knows that. They pay too much tax. But they need 100,000 extra workers. Really sad for them. Well, we need 240, and we haven't got any streams of cash floating in from the mining tax to help us out. So big numbers. We're starting to look at, we try to, I guess, from a national level, look at a whole workforce picture, because we need to barge in with bodies such as Nurses Federations and AMAs and Health Workforce Australia to have a talk about the other half of the workforce. I'm on the Health Workforce Australia Education Training Committee, and there are 16 people on the committee. There's me, there's a TAFE director from Victoria, and there are 14 deans of medical faculties. And you think, anyway, they've got a very narrow view of the world. I'm amazed, but PhD, academics, doctors, specialists, their worldview is very tiny. Anyway, so I get up and said, did you know that most of the workforce don't have a degree? Oh, shock. So anyway, so we try to look at higher ed and vet roles to give us some feel, so we can go out and argue, hey look, let's get some of this in balance. So I guess to be a little bit fair, in health, 55% of the workforce has a degree, but 45% don't. So they fall into our space, and that's no qualification or a vet qualification, because there are a lot of workers in our space who don't have a qualification at all. And again, that's an issue, I think, especially in aged care. I'm amazed why there isn't some sort of national requirement to have a base level qualification to manage the most vulnerable part of our sector and our community. But anyway, we'll see how we go. But they set up a new one for radiographers, Indigenous health workers, which is about 400, and Chinese medicine. They set up a new APRA health board to look after them, but aged care is nowhere to be seen. So at 45%, so there's 370,000 vet workers in the health sector. When you get to community services, it flips the other way, 1/3, 2/3. And overall, about 43% of the community services health workforce have a degree, and 57% don't. So our sector is the majority, the bulk of the workforce, but we get less of the money, perhaps. If you've been following the debate about Bradley and things, universities get about 9 billion a year, I think it is, and vet gets about 1 billion. Yet, we're the biggest, we produce more skilled workers, yet we get 1/10 of the money. But anyway, I won't go bashing Bradley too badly. And these some of the growth over the next few years. So, big numbers. Big numbers. So if you look at the growth, we're looking at having 129,000 extra workers in the vet space needing to be trained. And that's one of the other issues we have to look at nationally is where is the capacity? Who are we funding? What is the role in TAFE and or private provision in some of these areas? And that's a big hot debate at the moment if you've been following it nationally. So a lot of workforce.